So we're going to go over how to make all the cocktails on the cocktail list. We're going to start with the Sazerac. Alright, and go. So the first thing for the Sazerac is you want to chill your glass. You don't have to use this glass, but this is the one that I would prefer, either this or one of the smaller coupes. Always want to chill your glass first. You always want your cocktails cold. So we'll start there. Alright, the next thing is to take a pint glass. And you do want to use a pint because you want, especially if you're working behind the bar, you want your bar guests to see what's going on in the glass. It's more interesting for them, and you can talk about the drink more and sell more drinks. So we'll start with the sugar cube. Try to pick one that's a good size. Nothing too large, too small. And the Sazerac is a classic New Orleans cocktail. It has to be made with Peychaud's bitters. The amount of bitters that you add is really a bartender's preference. I like to go with 3 dashes. And you'll notice I do hefty dashes. It's not, little drops. It's an actual dash. We're going to muddle our sugar. And this is a pretty important part of making this drink. Especially with these sugar cubes. This is Demerara sugar, so it's a little bit more hearty than granulated sugar, and has some molasses incorporated into it, so it won't break down in the drink as quickly. So you really need to muddle this sugar to break it down, make it really pasty, so that it incorporates into your whiskey better, and you're not left with a bunch of sugar crystals in the bottom of your drink. Next we add ice. Whenever you're making cocktails, you don't want to skimp on ice. Ice is one of the most important aspects of making a drink. By adding more ice, I'm actually diluting the drink less. And especially for drinks that are all booze, that's really important because you don't want a watery booze drink. Your customers will not be satisfied. Alright, and for this drink we're using rye whiskey. This is Old Overholt. It's been in existence since the early 1800s. Really solid rye. Rye is 51% rye as opposed to bourbon. That's 51% corn. Bourbon's sweeter. Rye is spicier. Alright, I should have used a jigger. I know that's 2 ounces. Use a jigger, measure your 2 ounces. And this drink, you want to stir. And the reason we stir drinks as opposed to shaking them is when you shake a drink, you incorporate water and air faster into a drink. And like we said before, this is predominantly an all-booze drink except for the sugar cube. So we don't want a watered down Sazerac. So by stirring it, we're bringing the temperature down and incorporating minimal amounts of water. While I'm doing this, an example of a drink that you would shake would be a dirty martini. And the reason being is that the olive brine would not incorporate by stirring. So by shaking it, you're incorporating it, and that's an acceptable drink to shake. You wouldn't shake a regular martini because it's all booze. Same reasoning, you're watering down somebody's all booze drink. And it's a myth that shaking gets things colder. You can get drinks just as cold by stirring them, it just takes longer. Alright, now we're going to discard our ice. Pump this a few times. This is called an atomizer. Makes very small particles of whatever liquid. And we're just doing a light spritz of absinthe. You can use a julep strainer or a regular strainer. And then we're going to do our garnish. You can do a lemon zest either way with a channel knife, which is what does that really thin one. And actually, traditionally with the Sazerac, you want a much thicker lemon peel. Alright, and I like to loosen it up a little bit. Take all the oils and get them on the outside of the peel. And then you want to rim the glass with it and set it to the side. You don't drop it in because they may not want that much lemon incorporated in the drink, but the garnish is for nose, complements the absinthe and the whiskey, and also if they want that lemon flavor, they can drop it in. Cheers. Ugh.